Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video topic was actually requested and I thought that it was such a good idea and such an important thing to talk about. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to write better criticisms and book reviews. So there are kind of two main sections that I want to really discuss when it comes to this. And the first is being constructive and the second is having support. So when it comes to writing book reviews and critiquing and constructive criticism, all of that kind of stuff, one, as an English major, you're going to be doing it, I know for sure as a creative writing track, you'll be doing it with your peers. You're giving each other critiques, you're helping each other out with your works, workshopping pieces, all of that kind of stuff. So it's especially important with a creative writing track. With other tracks, where it might be more essay based on, what I know from my non-creative writing classes, you may have some teachers who have you workshop essays or help each other with essays, but you may also just be writing book reviews for classes or any number of things. And even if it's not about writing criticism or anything like that, you may in your life just run into experiences where you're asked to critique something or give constructive criticism or review something, any kinds of things. And I think that these are just general good ideas to be thinking about and following. So let's start with being constructive and constructive criticism. So there are two little subpoints here that I want to talk about. So the first point that I want to make about constructive criticism is that your goal is to be making something better. I know that that sounds obvious, like of course I want it to be better, but I think a lot of times, and I'm sure I've been guilty of this too, when we critique something, we're not thinking about it as that person's work, we're just thinking we're seeing the thing and we're doing what we can to make it better. But sometimes it can help, and it can help you be a better critiquer, to want that to be better as much as you want your own writing to be better, your own works to be better. You want this to be the best that it can. You want it to succeed. You want it to thrive. And I think that when you look at other people's works that way, you're able to put in so much more effort and attention into, what they have there. The second point is that if a writer feels like they never want to write again after reading your critique or getting your critique, you failed as a critiquer, they haven't failed as a writer. Your job is to help them succeed, not tear them down. So you are allowed to have critiques. It's not that you can't say negative things. It's about how you're saying them. So for example, it's not "this sucks." It's "I was a little confused by this and it didn't feel like it made sense as I went further into the story. It felt like something that seemed like it was going to be bigger and then never really had a follow through." That's very different than saying "this sucks." Writing is so personal to people. Art is so personal. And it's so important to be trying to make a writer or an artist or whoever feel better and feel like they want to continue diving into that work because they want to see it succeed too, than feeling like they are a bad artist, a bad writer, or this or that. It's about helping each other grow and be better, not tearing each other down. And that's the difference between criticism and constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is about finding solutions and about finding ways to improve everyone and to make everybody leave better than they came in. And that includes you as a critiquer just as much as it includes them as a writer. So the next little section I want to talk about is support and supporting what you're saying. And again, here we've got two little subsections that I want to talk about. And the first is that you're allowed to have opinions about a piece, but you need to know why something works or doesn't work. For example, you can say, "I don't really like this character here." Why? You don't have to like the character, and sometimes you don't have to like the character and it can still be the right thing. writers, artists, whoever you're critiquing don't have to follow your advice. You're there to give your suggestions as the person seeing it, as somebody who is less connected to it. The writer is so close to it that sometimes it's hard to see those things. As a reviewer, as a critiquer, you're there to help them see what they can't see because they're so close to the project. So they don't have to listen to your advice. What you're doing is giving them that sight, and they decide if that feels right to them or not. But let's say you say, I don't like this character. That's not enough. Is it this character doesn't feel like they add anything to the story? It just feels like they're an empty kind of character that you're just dragging along. Okay, cool. There's a couple things you can do about it. Take it out in the first place, or use that character as a plot device and kill them off soon after. There's, I'm sure, many other solutions, but you have to understand why you're saying something, why you feel something about a piece if you're going to give that critique, because it's not helpful and it's no longer constructive criticism, it's just criticism. And again, as we've talked about, that's not what you're there to do. The second thing is that you have to support your evidence. So, or your opinion, whatever, which is kind of like what I was saying, it's more going off of that and building on that. You can't just say, this is bad, this is awkward, this is this. What is awkward about this? What about this exchange that's been written doesn't feel like it flows well? Does it feel like it's too choppy? Does it feel like everybody's interrupting each other too much? You can't really understand what's happening? That's important, because as the writer, again, being too close, sometimes they can't see. So if you just say this is awkward, how does that help them? How does that help them make their work better? It doesn't. So when you can give them evidence and support and say, this line right here messed up the flow of the whole dialogue you put together. I think you should either change it or take it out, or you could do this or that. That's how you can actually better the story and the writer's work and not just tear them down. I know that there was a lot of similar ideas kind of over and over again, but I think a lot of it is just based on this idea of you're there to help the writer get better and grow and see their work succeed. And I think when you come from it with that perspective, you're able to really do a much better job in critiquing and reviewing and all of that kind of stuff. Let me know if there are any other videos you'd like to see on my channel down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. Bye!